Guardians 1 features a really solid blend of drama, heart, and humor, with a soundtrack that is notoriously and pretty perpetually phenomenal. We're given a vast array of distinct, often colorful characters. You've got the scrappy, sarcastic, tough-talking Rocket, as well as the impossibly endearing, visually versatile, and verbal Groot. There's the knife-wielding badass Gamora, and the hilariously literal and socially oblivious Drax the Destroyer, and of course Peter Quill aka Star-Lord, who is a bit Han Solo-esque, charming, roguish, certainly empathetic, though admittedly a bit dopey at times, endearingly so. This unique ragtag team interestingly comes together and gradually and organically develops a strong group verging on family dynamic. It's rather impressive that this movie is able to juggle this boatload of new characters pretty seamlessly, and as solid as I believe this movie to be, I also believe that each installment in the series improves upon the previous one, in part due to the fact that the narratives within these volumes become progressively less so connected to the greater cinematic universe, which is a personal preference of mine in this instance. Guardians 2 is quite the visual spectacle. We get Ego's truly vibrant planet, Ego's very interestingly structured ship, primarily its interior, Ego's intriguingly animated dioramas, which is a creative way to provide the audience exposition, which surely would have solely been delivered through dialogue in the hands of a lesser director. We also get the Golden Sovereign people, not to mention the trippy and enthralling sequence in which Rocket, Yondu, Baby Groot, and Kraglin jump their ship through space as their appearances wildly warp. I love how much of this flick is devoted to character and their dynamics, as family in its many forms is a prevalent and effective theme here. I thoroughly enjoyed the magnificent prison escape scene, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest moments in the series. It's satisfying and impactful in terms of the narrative. It is also visually superb and versatile. We get Yondu and company walking in slow motion along a bridge, as Yondu's whistle-fueled weapon takes out the opposition, forcing them to fall to their deaths. All around this trio of Guardians, we also get a collection of views via surveillance cameras of Yondu's weapon traversing the multitude of darkened ship hallways, forcing the rapid weapon to visually wickedly glow in the dark. Yondu really is a major highlight and a major component of this movie's great emotional effectiveness. He's got more of a prevalent presence when compared to Volume 1, which is great, and I dig the deeper exploration of his character. The music is once again amazing, in my opinion superior to the original soundtrack, and perfectly fitting. The film's intro is undoubtedly another favorite scene of mine, as Baby Groot dances to ELO's Mr. Blue Sky and Focus in the foreground, while the rest of our Guardians battle a gigantic tentacled beast in the background. I had an absolute blast with the Guardians Holiday Special. It bears the classic Guardians style, a visually intriguing tale which contains heart, humor, and character drama, understandably less drama than the films, in large part due to the comparatively concise runtime. That's not to take anything away from this special. It is absolutely top-notch entertainment and creativity, taking advantage of every single second of its duration. The Christmas tunes are unsurprisingly perfectly integrated into this tale. The special solidifies Drax and Mantis as an amazing, unique, and humorous duo with wonderful chemistry. Kevin Bacon is also a ton of fun in this piece. I also enjoyed the Mantis Star-Lord sibling connection, both Mantis's reservations in informing Peter, as well as Peter's heartwarming response to this ultimately revealed information. Guardians 3 is unquestionably the most emotionally resonant installment in the series. It is also the most visually captivating. The costumes and makeup are consistently mega creative and fascinating, and the CGI is awesome and appropriately utilized. The character design in general is incredible and overflowing with style. There's another collection of classic tracks. The soundtrack is actually more versatile than ever in regards to the variety of decades from which it pulls. The cinematography is perpetually purposeful and often interestingly dynamic. Now, Nebula is an understandably angry and ruthless being in film 1 and in much of film 2, so it's really gratifying to see her surrounded by individuals she cares about after having experienced development and a sort of softening slash humanization through Guardians 2's end. Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and and the holiday special. In fact, what were initially the personalities and psyches of Nebula and Gamora from Guardians 1 have been completely swapped here in movie 3. Zoe Saldana does an excellent job of differentiating this particular version of Gamora from the one with whom Peter fell in love, and Karen Gillan does a wonderful job of gradually and pretty organically transforming this character from a vengeful robot, essentially, to a more human being who has really developed a big heart. This is also in part due to the fact that the longer we spent time with Nebula, the more insight we got into her truly tragic, intensely abused past, the deepening of that traumatic tale making her instantly sympathetic. Rocket is one of my all-time favorite MCU characters, and I was elated to learn that this trilogy capper focuses on everyone's favorite raccoon and his utterly tragic past. These flashbacks really pack an emotional punch. There's some much appreciated, pretty shocking body horror elements in the form of Rocket's trio of pals, as well as the ultimately faceless High Evolutionary. Speaking of which, when taking the Netflix Daredevil series out of the equation, this villain is undoubtedly my favorite within this massive universe. He brings such gravitas to this twisted role. He's truly maniacal, and he is so easy to hate. It is beyond satisfying to see Rocket absolutely scratch and tear his face to Every great story has an end, and so I admire the fact that now that Gunn has told the story he set out to tell, he's moving on. He leaves behind a beautiful cosmic legacy filled with humor and heart and a tremendous amount of style.